Hi everybody. Don't fear, yesterday I was the last in the bus, but I started the stopwatch. I don't want to be the lowest of today in presentation. So let me say thanks everyone for your warm hospitality, for your perfect and excellent organization. And I'd like to say thanks to our colleague Carla Square that is not here because she doesn't feel good. And we are all very grateful to Carla because she has a very pivotal role in our project, so thank to Carla. And I'll briefly, I go on showing our case. I briefly remember you who we are. We are Sardinia. I believe that everyone knows Sardinia, especially because it's one of the biggest island in the Mediterranean Sea. It's an island, is relatively isolated, 100 miles from mainland and from North Africa. We have very different variety of ecosystem and very fragile. And a lot of coastline, a very extensive coastline that is very important for us for our nature-based solutions. We are talking about 200, 600 kilometers of coast. Now I show briefly our, we are very proud to remember you that we have a regional climate change adaptation regional strategy who was held in 2019 and is recently updated in 2024. And that document is really a strong and important document for policy, for regional administration and governance. We are very proud of it. Our solution tested, I can resume it with 3 words: space, resources, and ecosystem. Space, because the first one is a coastal space for adaptation to sea level rise, is an important pilot testing about the capacity to create a tool and instruments GIS-based on GIS-based information system to predict, to make scenarios about the evolution of the coastline. As you can see, here we have 3 pilot zones. At the beginning of the project was just 2. We add another one in the north of Sardinia. The other 2 are in the southeast and southwest of Sardinia. As you can see in the examples, in the pictures, our goal is to predict the evolution of the shoreline, making scenarios with minimum and maximum impact. Second one, that is very peculiar of Sardinia because we are talking about dams. In Sardinia, the dams are very important because we are an island. We have 70 dams, but a really important infrastructure of dams because there are 70, they are all linked and connected one to each other. So we should be very happy for that. But the problem is that in the main cases, day by day, years by years, the amount of reservoir sediments are reducing the volume of the dams. And that, at the same time, is a problem, and that is an opportunity too, because with our project, we are studying and we are analyzing the sediments of the components of the, the elements of the components of the sediments of the sediment reservoir in the dams, with a goal to matching the sediments in the beaches and understanding if it's possible to consider the reservoir sediments as a source of beach nourishment. And secondly, if not matching, we can hypothesize other purposes for reuse of sediments, such as an example for buildings, for making roads, or yesterday, for example, we've been talking about geotube. We could use, if matching, sediments for filling the geotube if you would decide to take these nature-based solutions. And so, sorry, as I told yesterday to some colleagues, we are working on the GIS story maps who helps to communicate the goal of the project, and we believe that will be ready by the first part of May, and we are very proud and happy for this important tool. Third one is the mapping the future of Posidonia oceanica, as you know. Of course, Posidonia oceanica is a very key Mediterranean ecosystem, and is very, very important. With this pilot testing, we are mapping the Posidonia oceanica with the goal to looking and finding the so-called climate refugia, because we can transform that as protected area that can preserve and defend the resilience of the coast, and they can transform it in a ecological corridor, and we are quantifying that area. And I'm on time, I'm okay, I'm happy. So we are on conclusions, and about implementation time, about the implementation timeline, I can say that more or less for the 3 pilot testing, the approach has 3 main steps. First one is an approach based on scientific and technological activities. The next step is transform this information and data in conversion into planning and decision-making tool, and engaging the authorities, public companies, stakeholders. And finally, transform all this information, all this testing, in operating protocol for supporting decision-making, and why not validation and transferability of this experience. Thank you all. Thanks a lot.